Praise be Jesus Christ, now and forever. I'm in Iraq at the moment, so I hope you're praying for me. This is being recorded just before I go. I collect saints. I think it's quite a good hobby, dare I say a healthy and holy hobby. Obviously, it's much more than a hobby. What I really mean is that I enjoy discovering new saints in our Catholic and Orthodox world. It's true, as my mother points out when I'm staying with her, that the little room in her house we've converted into a chapel does have quite a few statues and images of different saints. She thinks we've reached the limit, but I disagree. The saints, as we've discussed before, not only pray for us, but critically they inspire us. They remind us and encourage us that following Christ faithfully is possible. Catholics used to speak of having a devotion to a certain saint, those particular men and women of holiness we feel a particular attraction towards, or their life story, and perhaps their struggles. These things give us hope. Maybe they've helped us in the past, or we've been advised to seek their prayers. For myself, when I talk about collecting saints, I mean that we have an endless number of men and women and children who've gone before us marked with the sign of faith, and finding them, becoming acquainted with them, is quite simply like meeting new friends. They are, in fact, our friends, and just as we ask our friends on earth to pray for us, why not our friends in heaven? This is really what the beautiful communion of saints is all about. The discovery of a new friend in heaven is actually one of the blessings of the modern means of communication, including social media, and we certainly have to find some of the good things in that world, where there is so much that's not good. I read an article or a news report about a person, either canonized or just a holy man or woman, who seems to be an inspiration, and find myself wanting to know more about them. Often they get added to my list of heavenly helpers, and yes, sometimes I develop a devotion to them. We should, I believe, all have a devotion towards the saints we've been lucky enough to be named after, and I truly believe every baptized Christian should have at least one Christian name. If that's not happened, we're blessed to be able to pick another heavenly patron when we're confirmed. That devotion needs to be developed, and I think the practice of asking for their intercession on a daily basis is a very good habit to cultivate. But then we have the great cloud of witnesses, as St. Paul speaks of, to get to know and experience their help. This happened to me just this week. I happened to see on Twitter, can anything good come from Twitterland, we might ask, and the answer is sometimes. I happened to see on the Twitter sphere a report of the death of a holy man in Palermo, Sicily. His name was Fratel Biagio, or Brother Biagio. He had been an itinerant lay Franciscan, hermit and helper of the poor, the homeless, and the needy. He'd also been the son of a wealthy family who'd abandoned this all to serve and to follow Christ. Two things struck me about him. First, his extraordinary face, which exuded the joy and peace of Christ, and secondly, the fact that 10,000 people turned up for his funeral. Like another holy man, Blessed Pier Giorgio Frassati, when thousands of the ordinary people come to a funeral, there's something going on. There's the smell of holiness. When I retweeted his picture, a priest friend said, I think facetiously, "Do you mean to say there are still saints walking among us?" That sarcastic comment told an essential truth. There are still saints walking among us, thanks be to God. They are there to do those three things on earth and in heaven, to pray for us, to inspire us, and to show us that holiness is possible. So keep collecting new friends. Brethren, rejoice, be perfected, be comforted, be of the same mind, be at peace, and the God of peace and love will be with you.